Hi, I'm Tikwittee, archaeologist extraordinaire, and when I'm not getting my thrills helping Acme agents catch Carmen's crooks, I earn my living digging up dirt on the distant past. Let me show you my latest find. Hawaiians carved fierce images of their gods, sometimes called tikis, to scare people away from sacred ground. Would you want to hang around with one of these guys looking over your shoulder? In former times, Hawaiians who broke the local rules, or kapu, were often sentenced to death. Their only hope was to reach one of these traditional areas called a place of refuge, where they were forgiven by a priest for breaking the rules. Next time you dream of going to Hawaii, remember this. The islands are actually the tops of volcanic mountains, and some, like Kilauea and Mauna Loa, are still active. So on your next vacation, you may be in for a really hot time. In 1778, Captain James Cook sailed into these tropical islands, changing, and some people would say, spoiling Hawaiian culture forever. I guess you could say he was the first tourist. Hawaiian temples, like the one you see here, originally housed the remains of local chiefs. Hawaiians believed that great power rested not only with the gods, but also with their leaders. This power remained even after death. So the early Hawaiians made no bones about preserving old bones. I'm history. See ya! I'll show you some intriguing sights here in Taos, New Mexico. The natives of the Southwest baked bread in ovens made of sun-dried mud bricks called adobe. Oddly enough, they used the same kind of adobe to build their houses. I hope that doesn't mean their homes were as hot as an oven. This is San Geronimo, one of many churches built by Spanish missionaries. Although European settlers and missionaries tried to influence native cultures, the Pueblo Indians are people after my own heart. They preserved their past despite outside influences, and their tribal customs have been mostly unchanged for centuries. The Taos Pueblo Indians hunted in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains where game was plentiful. They lived near the mountains in multi-leveled structures called a pueblo that looked a lot like a modern apartment building. But you can bet this place will never become a condo. The Spanish used the word pueblo, meaning town, to refer to the communal villages of the Southwest Native Indians. The Pueblo Indians are sometimes referred to as cliff dwellers because they often built their homes directly into steep cliff sides. But not all of them liked living on the edge. The Pueblo at Taos was built on solid ground. Modern Pueblo Indians are believed to be descended from the Anasazi, who built many-storied homes thousands of years ago. It may be bad luck to walk under a ladder, but don't tell the Pueblos. Like their ancestors, they used long wooden ladders to move from floor to floor. I'm history. See ya! Okay, let's tour Indian City, Oklahoma. Caddo Indian leaders often met in a building like this one, known as a council house. Plains Indians tribes were ruled by a chief, and the chief was advised by a council of elders. In some tribes, it was customary not to make a decision until everyone had spoken. So keep your comments brief, please. Many of the Plains Indians lived as nomads, following the herds of buffalo, which they hunted from horseback. They often dried the meat by hanging it in the sun on racks like these. Anyone hungry? Some natives, like the Caddo tribe, lived a communal lifestyle, meaning they shared everything. Several families lived together in one large house made of poles topped by a grass roof. Only a few Indian tribes are native to Oklahoma. In the 1830s, many Indian tribes were forced to leave their native lands and relocate here in Oklahoma. Their forced march became known as the Trail of Tears due to the great hardships suffered on the long journey. Archaeologists, like yours truly, determined that native Indian tribes have lived on the Great Plains for about 6,000 years. Here at Indian City, you can see recreations of 7 native villages and watch traditional dances and ceremonies. But be careful, you might get a sudden urge to hunt buffalo. I'm History. See ya! Howdy, partner. Let's mosey through the Alamo here in San Antonio. You could say the Alamo was on a mission to become famous. It began as a collection of small huts, then grew into a Spanish outpost, and eventually it became a full-fledged mission when the first church was built in 1758. Remember the Alamo! And don't forget the monument you see here called the Cenotaph. It's dedicated to the 189 fallen heroes of the Alamo, one of the most famous sites in United States history. Texas is the largest of the contiguous 48 states, which is good because everybody seemed to want a piece of it. Texas was colonized by Spain, then belonged to Mexico, then became an independent republic. Phew! Finally, it joined the United States in 1845 as the 28th state in the Union. One of the Alamo's best-known heroes was Davy Crockett, who was a member of Congress as well as a soldier. He was from Tennessee, not Texas, but he had sworn to fight tyranny wherever it appeared, so he rode to the aid of the Alamo. Now that's courage! When Mexican dictator Santa Anna demanded surrender, the Alamo's defenders answered with a cannon shot. For 13 days, the small band of Texans defied an army of 4,000 until the last man fell. 6 weeks later, Texan reinforcements, led by Sam Houston, defeated the Mexican army, shouting, "Remember the Alamo," as they attacked. I'm History. See ya! Feeling friendly? let's visit Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Over here we have Independence Hall, where the Second Continental Congress met. Once called the State House, this historic building witnessed the birth of a new nation. You can't help but love Philadelphia. The word is Greek for city of brotherly love. Its founder, William Penn, was a Quaker, but it was later residents who really shook things up during the Revolutionary War. Well, this is very appealing. It's the Liberty Bell, which rang out in 1776 on the day the Declaration of Independence was first read to the people. Trouble is, the massive bell couldn't quite handle all the excitement of a new country. It cracked twice over the course of its life before finally being retired in 1835. Luckily, the Liberty Bell has proved stronger in spirit than form and continues to serve as a symbol that freedom in America rings on. Benjamin Franklin's house no longer stands here in Franklin Court, but Franklin's influence can still be felt. He helped write the Declaration of Independence and pioneered ideas such as fire departments and streetlights. And as the first U.S. postmaster, Old Ben definitely put his stamp on history. Two of the most important documents in history were completed right here at Independence Hall: the Declaration of Independence and the United States Constitution. Now those are words to live by. I'm History. See ya!